Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is betrayal, in romance especially. I like to include special emphasis in my subjects for videos that makes them interesting, hopefully. So, betrayal in the context of romance. I'm going to use an actual story, a true story from my life. I've been doing this a lot, and it seems to be working out. So, quite some time ago, I don't really want to put a number on the years, it's not relevant, but many, many years ago, I was with a person very seriously, significantly, as they say, and we would go everywhere and do everything, and we were quite enamored. I thought, I should speak for myself, though. I was quite enamored, and this isn't so much about that, but this is about the betrayal. Sometimes there's betrayal. And this takes shape in a lot of ways, unfortunately. It can undermine any healthy relationship when things are omitted or the truth is warped or bent beyond a point with malicious intent or just recklessness, especially when there's communication about the other person in the relationship behind their back with third parties, that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of ways to betray somebody. My story is, I'm just going to tell my story, I guess. This person and I, my girlfriend at the time, we were not, officially or formally married, but we were living together and had been doing so for a long time, years. And in some places that constitutes a common law marriage, but we weren't married legally or in any conventional sense. But we went to a little get together. It was friend's house, an old friend of mine actually from high school, and we showed up at his apartment. I honestly was surprised he was still living in that apartment, but that's definitely not the subject here. Anyway, he had some friends over, and I had no expectations. And shortly after we got there, we did not stay long, but shortly after we got there, a person showed up who was handicapped. That's, I have no bias towards handicapped people in general. This particular person had a bad attitude. I don't know how else to say it. They showed up hostile, they were angry and being extremely vulgar. And at one point, this person who was missing a leg started making lewd comments about my girlfriend, to my girlfriend, suggestive comments. And I won't go into too much detail, but they were clearly, in retrospect, designed to be provocative, to provoke me, or not. Perhaps it was a question, I don't know. But I chose not to engage this person. I know a lot of guys probably would have just punched him out. I chose not to at the time. My reason for choosing that was not cowardice. My reason was not lack of courage or an inclination towards peace or anything like that. It was actually something, and that's the point of this video, that it was actually a vote of confidence for my other person. You see, when somebody is what they appear to be, and they're honest, and they have integrity, and they're worth their time and salt, so to speak, you can count on them in almost any situation to do their best. At the very least, maybe they'll make a mistake, but at the very least they'll try to have your back, so to speak. And by not engaging this person, which would have been stupid, obviously, because I was at somebody else's property, there's a lot of reasons not to engage some random stranger who is perhaps high or drunk and shows up out of nowhere talking trash. I mean, you don't need to stoop to that level. Nobody does. So the question was being asked, is one way to look at it. I'm going to wrap up the video. It's going to be a short video. The question was being asked, how do you respond? Do you defend your girlfriend's honor, your lover's honor, when some, rando person shows up and starts talking a ton of really, really rude stuff? I mean, like the rudest stuff you can imagine. What do you do? Okay, well, what do you do with any troll, really? Come on now. Do you engage every single troll? That's stupid. Come on. So what I chose to do is, I gave my significant other a vote of confidence, like I said, and we left, and we never actually discussed it, to my recollection. We never talked about that again. We didn't stay together. Now, I don't think those two things are connected. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I don't believe they are. But what I do think happened, looking back, is that there was communication that I didn't see. I do believe that my significant other was, she had an opinion about the situation before she even got there that she failed to communicate to me. So my reaction, or lack of reaction rather, probably didn't sit well with her because she prejudged the whole thing. She might have been coached. She might have been, I don't know, but she did not see my actions. I'm quite sure she did not see what I did as a vote of confidence. And I never had the opportunity to explain the reasons for what I did, or rather what I didn't do. Keeping us safe, doing the right thing, not engaging some rando cripple guy. I stand by my decision, and I think that there's a ton of trolls out there, and if you engage all of them, it shortens your lifespan. It's much better to be respectful and responsible to the person you're with. And that's what I chose to do. Even though it didn't look like it, that's what I did. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Kind of a funny story. I don't know. Looking back, it's funny. It was not funny at the time, but now it is. So I wish everybody a great evening. And if you have questions or comments, reach out to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.